Hello, I am back. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you noticed, we got a new trailer for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. This one went over the gameplay footage, and oh my god, many brand new items and features to help you raise your Pokemon. Guys, when I watched this after when I was on my break at work, I was floored. I had to control myself. I was so excited. And before we get into the video, guys, if you want to leave a like on the video, feel free. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button for more Pokemon content coming to you guys in relatively soon. You guys are getting this video, so hopefully you guys will be getting more content soon. But guys, we have mints. And so when I saw this, basically, as the description reads, mints are items that will make their first appearance in these games. They'll impact which stats of your Pokemon are likely to grow faster than usual. Each Pokemon has a nature, and this nature can impact which of the Pokemon stats are likely to grow faster or slower than average. Using a mint on a Pokemon seems to change these stat growth patterns. However, a Pokemon's nature itself won't change even if you use a mint. So, this is literally the bottle cap. But for any level, and like as it says here, it won't change the nature. So let's just say hypothetically here, and I'll pull up Pokemon Showdown for this specifically because I really want to just emphasize how incredibly good this is. And sorry, I haven't been on Showdown in forever. It's been a minute. We'll say an OU Pokemon, and let's say it's Mega Alakazam as an example, or not even Mega Alakazam. We'll just say Alakazam because why not? So let's say we have our Alakazam here, and we're going with ourselves. We want to go with a Timid Nature, max special attack, and max speed. Obviously Magikarp, but that's not the point here. Let's say I've bred my Alakazam, right? Let me just make sure this is all here. Okay, cool. I've bred my Alakazam. It's the way I want it. But maybe I decide, you know what? Maybe I want to go for a modest nature instead of a timid nature. Maybe I want the extra power rather than the extra speed. The problem with that originally was you basically bred a new Pokemon. And that in and of itself was a huge pain in the butt. You really couldn't do anything about it. Like, there was no getting around it whatsoever, and so it caused a lot of issues. But with these mints, you use a timid mint and it changes that nature. That is amazing. That literally changes the game from a competitive aspect, because now it means that I don't have to then breed, and I'll just copy this and I'll paste it so that way it's a little easier for me. Now I don't have to breed one timid, one modest. I can have just one Alakazam and then just switch up the natures as I feel necessary. And this is absolutely incredible, because I think we're going to see this with a lot of Pokemon. That one nature is going to work, but like two natures, three natures maybe will work. But you only really need one Pokemon. And honestly, I think that is absolutely insane. The second awesome thing about this, it means that for all intents and purposes, let's take a different Pokemon here for example. Let's say I have Celesteela here. I have my standard leftovers Celesteela, right? Heavy Slam, Flamethrower, Leech Seed, Protect, and I want this to be physically defensive, and maybe I say I want it to have a relaxed nature. Okay, well now I'll paste it 2 more times. But maybe I don't want it to be physically defensive. Maybe I want it to be specially defensive. Or maybe, I want a Flinium Z set with air slash, flamethrower, I don't know, like earthquake and atomize. And let's say I want this to be max speed. Oh, of course I gotta change this up a little bit. But maybe I want it to be max speed, max special attack, or something like that. Just as an example here. Think about that, folks. I could literally just have 1 Celesteela on my team, and I don't need to worry about, say, capturing 2 more to compensate for that. And that is honestly one of the greatest things that could have come. Now, we don't know anything other than this yet. I would really, really love to see a hidden power mint or item, because to be real here, folks, breeding for hidden powers is a pain if you don't already have that Pokemon or that Ditto to help you breed for those for that specifically. So it would be really, really good to get something like that. I'm just saying, I know not everyone will necessarily have that same opinion, but for me personally, as someone who sees, and we'll take the example of Pikachu here, if I wanted to, for some reason, run like Hidden Power Fire Pikachu, yeah, it's gonna take me a while to breed for that Hidden Power Fire Pikachu. So if there was something like that in the games, I would not be surprised at this point, based on how much more accessible they're making the games. I absolutely love this new feature, and to be completely honest, I think it's really a generation too late. Or not too late. I think it's coming in at a great time, but I think if we had this in Gen 7 along with Hyper Training, this would have been even better, like in Gen 7, because now we would have had a way to have already not necessarily needed to worry about changing a nature or breeding multiple Pokemon. And the other thing too is, and I really want you to consider this, think about legendaries now. Like, think about whatever potential legendaries are going to be in Sword and Shield. I know which ones are in the Sword and Shield. I'm just, because I've looked at the leaked decks, and but I'm not going to talk about that. But just let's, for example, say, like, again, a Pokemon like Victini is in the game, and you have your, I don't know, we'll say like your Jolly Victini. It's had all the event moves, Glaciate, like Bull Strike, Fusion, not Fusion Flare, Blue Flare. It's got all of those moves on it. It's got Searing Shot as well. But say you want to be able to switch around its set every now and then, you can do that now. And that, to me, is what would have really saved Generation 7, in my opinion, because it literally would have meant that one Pokemon basically fit all, and I think that would have been incredible as a whole. This is also really good for shiny Pokemon. I know myself, I'm probably going to, and when I say probably, I mean almost certainly, going to be shiny hunting for a lot of different Pokemon, some of which I love just from having looked at the leaked Pokedex, looking at the leaks, the leaked Pokemon, which again, I'm not going to mention because I do not want to ruin or spoil anything for you guys at all yet. And if I decide to make any videos on that, I will definitely be putting spoilers in the title and in not in the thumbnail, but definitely in the title, so you guys don't get clickbaited or tricked into thinking, oh, this isn't spoiler related. But that's neither here nor there. This means that shiny Pokemon now aren't necessarily like just kind of thrown in the toilet, which I love. or not necessarily in the toilet, but you can't necessarily get a whole lot of competitive viability out of them, which I really, really love. I love this new feature. It's going to do so much for the game of competitive Pokemon as a whole. And I'm actually gonna pull this up because I loved this tweet from ADrive. Not CAD Drive, but I loved this from ADrive. And where'd it go? Where'd it go? God damn it! WBE, come on, scroll. Where is it? He made a tweet about this earlier today, and I really, really liked it. Where is it? Unless he got rid of it or something. I don't know where it went. If I don't find it in the next little bit, as we're talking about this, but the incredible thing, and I loved it, and I don't seem to be able to find that tweet, unfortunately. But he basically said maybe we're gonna have the WBE be self-bred, and I think that this allows that to be one of those things, which I really, really love. Moving on into the vitamins that have been upgraded. Nutritious drinks like protein and iron raise a Pokemon's base points, or EVs, which in turn helps raise that Pokemon's stats. Until now, there has been a limit on how many of these items could be used on a Pokemon. However, in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, you are now able to max out a Pokemon's EVs using these supplements. Boy, that is incredible. This does so much for the game of Pokemon. It's insane. It doesn't necessarily eliminate EV training, and I'll explain why really quickly. We don't know how much these are going to give. If it's still the 10 that they gave from generations 3 to 7, or if it's going to give potentially 4. Because here's the thing, if this is our new way of EV training potentially, I'm way all for it. Absolutely all for that. And if this is the case, that's incredible. The bad side of this, they're expensive. And so I don't know if we're gonna get this in a potential like Battle Maison type of way where, you know, you use your battle points and you get access to where you can basically buy them for like, I think 2 battle points each, which isn't terrible whatsoever. But that in and of itself, I don't know how to describe this. This is great. If it's still by 10 though, I will say this, it's not worth it. And it won't be worth it to me in the sense that you're not going to be able to get like the specifics for a spread. So let's say, for example, in VGC, and I'll see if I can pull up one that is very specific for me. In VGC 2018. Yes, my Turtonator. One of my favorite sets that I've ever made. This Turtonator set, yes, has max HP and max EVs and HP, but you see that like 118, 108, and like 116. Like, there's not a really good way of getting around it, of like getting to those numbers. So there's part of me that's wondering how that's going to work. I hope that they've changed it to be an increase by 4, because that would make the most sense. Like, honestly, it would make the absolute most sense to have them raised by 4 instead of by 10. But we don't know much about that currently. We know that we can do it more, we can use more than 10, but we don't know what the calcium or the vitamins are going to be increasing those numbers by. I love this improvement. I love this buff to them. This is absolutely going to make EV training a lot easier. It's also really, really, really nice in the sense that I don't necessarily have to go fight other Pokemon to get those specific EVs, and I really, 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 really love that. Experience candies. Normally, your Pokemon earn experience points through battles, but if you use an XP candy, you'll be able to give your Pokemon experience directly. You can earn these candies in max raid battles, so collect a bunch and level up your Pokemon in a flash. I love this. This is incredible. And I want this to be perfectly clear. This is one of, if not one of the greatest things we're going to get. We don't necessarily know what kind of level grinding spots we're going to have, what kind of Pokemon are going to be, you know, the experience pots of the generation. So there is still that to look at. But if you're needing to get a Pokemon to level 100 to Hyper Train, this is incredible. Like this does a lot in such a small way. Now, you don't necessarily need to get to like a certain high level unless you're evolving a Pokemon, like say in this example, Zweilous. So for that, it's also really, really nice. I'm really, really happy that they're finally doing something like this. I didn't even think I would want it. I didn't even think about it, nor did I know I wanted it until I saw it. And as we see, the extra large XP candy gives 30,000 experience, which is a lot when you stop to consider that Zweilous grew 2 levels from that and a bit more. So that is incredible. It's going to be even better to see how many we're getting from max raid battles. I'm hoping it's a lot, and from the way it looks, at least, like there's a lot more like the smaller ones that you're getting, and the larger ones are gonna maybe be a bit more rare. But who honestly knows? This is an incredible addition to the game, absolutely incredible. But this last one is insane. Sometimes a Pokemon hatched from an egg will know unusual moves will know egg moves. These egg moves are moves that the Pokemon wouldn't normally be able to learn through more common means, like leveling up or using TMs. In these games, if you leave 2 Pokemon of the same species at the Pokemon nursery together, an egg move that one of them knows can be passed on to the other Pokemon. It appears that a Pokemon can only learn an egg move this way when it knows 3 or fewer moves, guys. I was confused about this at first, and much like the vitamins, I thought the vitamins were going to be like we're going to start acting as like bottle caps that you could use at any point in time. They were going to boost. They were basically going to act as like your bottle cap that you could use at any level and at any time. I was very confused by that. But after I thought about it, I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. When I saw base points, I thought stats, not EVs. But this confused me at first. And I thought I had seen like a female Sylveon and a male Sylveon. I'm like, how did you get just like Moonblast to like having all this? Transferring of egg moves, guys, literally the best thing. As much as I love the experience candy, the boost to supplements, and the mints, this is what sells it for me. And I know there's no face cam, and I'm sorry, but my God, I am shaking my fist, I swear to God. And just think about this, and I love this because we know that Gigantamax Pokemon, like they're special. Like they aren't going to be Like, oh, every Corviknight's going to be able to Gigantamax, or every Dreadnought is going to be able to Gigantamax. No, it's specific Pokemon. It's like a specific species of that Pokemon. Let's just say for a second, let's take Charizard for the example here. And I'll go on to Bulbapedia here. Because I love Charizard. Because as much I love Cerebi, but I feel like just going through Bulbapedia is a little bit easier that way. Let's just say, for example, here, and I'm gonna try and find. Is it no? It's Let's Go Pikachu. Is that Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Usopp. These are its egg moves. So you got Air Cutter, Ancient Power, Beat Up, Belly Drum, Bite, Counter, Crunch. You got a whole lot of moves right here. Let's say I'm building a Charizard set here. And just bear with me here for a second. I'm just gonna click this. Let's say I'm building a Charizard set. And it's my Gigantamax Charizard. Let's say for a second I want to use a Dragon Dance Charizard here, right? This is my Gigantamax one, right? So maybe I want Flare Blitz. You know, maybe I want. I'm just trying to think of like a physical flying move that it gets that it would be able to use. Fly, I guess, would be the only other one aside from like Wing Attack, because technically Acrobatics isn't its move, even though it got it through an event. But we'll say Wing Attack and I don't know. We'll say Roost. I can't get Dragon Dance, right? So that means I need to somehow get my Gigantamax Charizard Dragon Dance, but oh dang it, I can't. Well, bam! This is incredible. As I was saying before, this makes things way better. It is easy. There's not a whole lot of frill that you need to go through. Put that Pokemon in the daycare. And it doesn't even say specifically too if it has to be male, female, or if it can be, you know, male, male, female, female. Like there's no specification as to that specifically. I'm going to say that it's going to have to be male, female until proven otherwise. But nevertheless, Gigantamax Pokemon are now, in a lot of ways, more viable. And I'm not trying to say that they probably won't be at all, but they're way more viable in the sense that we know Charizard's getting one, so now it gets access to all of these egg moves. We know Butterfree is getting one. Not that Butterfree had any egg moves to begin with, but if it did, it would be able to learn them. I'm trying to think of another one. I guess you could say Pikachu, in that way too, would get access to its egg moves as well. I was gonna say, if I spelled Pikachu wrong myself as a Pokemon fan, like I probably would have had to abolish myself from it. There we go. Use some breeding moves. Let's say for a second I want Encore and Fake Out and Volt Tackle on my Pikachu. Well, guess what, baby? You get all three of those moves. Absolutely incredible. This changes the game entirely. I'm legitimately happy about this. Again, I didn't even think about this potentially being something that they could do. Knowing that it is an option now, knowing that this is something I can do. So when, like, I don't have to even necessarily, again, waste my time getting those moves. So yes, I'll definitely end up, you know, breeding a Wish Sylveon here as we see. Actually, I want to double check. Does Eevee learn Hyper Voice? by breeding, or is it through tutor? I don't remember. I really just want to remind myself if that is. Yeah, okay, it is through a tutor. But like, again, just through that sheer example, that is amazing. It means that, yeah, of course, I'm gonna have to breed a Wish Eevee and then evolve it into a Sylveon. But it then means I don't necessarily have to breed myself another Wish Eevee and evolve it into a Sylveon. I could just use the one that I have and use that forever if I wanted to. It eliminates the necessity to have multiple of those Pokemon. And that is amazing. When I saw the trailer, guys, actually, hold on. One other thing about this that I absolutely love, and I just thought of it too. This means that you can also, in a lot of ways, just breed specific Pokemon with those egg moves. Now, yes, you can argue, oh, well, you need to breed 7 Eevees and then evolve them all. Sure, go for it. I mean, like, if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes, right? You then all of a sudden can then just, you know, breed yourself, say, a Jolteon. Whatever egg moves you want on it, bam, it's got them. Right? And then you can just breed it onto them. Like, or like put them in the daycare and then bam, it's done. Like, you don't need to worry about it. I love this. This is absolutely incredible, especially as somebody who breeds legitimately, who plays the game as legit as possible. I love this. And when I say legit as possible, I've had my Pokemon Gen twice. Those were for the EPL, the Endeavor Pokemon League, which I am really hoping, Marcos, if you're watching this, I would love to see that come back for VGC 2020. Sign it. This means that breeding a team takes 0 time whatsoever. And even going back here to the mints, and I didn't even think about it, and I was thinking about it too. The combination of all of these means that you're not spending as much time breeding a team. You're spending more time specifically, you know, building your team. You can focus on that rather than, you know, having to spend the hours upon hours breeding it. I love these changes. I can't wait to see them implemented in Pokemon Sword and Shield. But with that being said, guys, that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more Pokemon content and comment down below how hyped you guys are. I will catch you all next time. Peace out.